Speaking of this, we're doing a Survivor match review now from Apple. Good friend Apple has over 1K hours in the game, so they should know most of their general macro, or macro sense. No, most of their general fundamentals, like macro sense, like how to chase well, that sort of thing. Playing on Cold Tower, which is a very, very fair map, very, very balanced map. Cold Tower 1 being smaller than Cold Tower 2, but both generally fairly balanced maps. I recognize I can do it by the match reviews. Yeah, that's like, people ask me a lot, is like, you ever done a match review yourself? It's like, I'm doing my match review on myself mid game all the time. That's why I'll tell you guys, I'm like, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done one thing. I shouldn't have done this, you know, because I'm like, I'm match reviewing myself as I play. So yeah, it's kind of redundant for me to do a match review on myself because I'm doing it to myself in live time in my head all the time. Spoil one thing? No. Legally hands and you picks. Okay, so you're using the new event map. That's fine. Maps generally are not too great, but like, you know, you're trying to use them. Your build is entirely based on healing in the basement, which I do love. Strength in the Shadows. Resilience is a general perk, which is nice. The bullet is more of like a meme perk. You can get some value of it, but in terms of consistency, I'd much rather see like an exhaustion perk or another like gen perk here. Botany's fine. Botany's actually pretty helpful unless you run into a plague. So I cannot argue with that one. Also, it's really good synergy with Strength and Shadows. So yeah. Yeah, you see agenda, you're right, but you don't go to it for some reason. It's a Mookle Myers. Okay. Not sure why you didn't go to that gen that's immediately next to you. Genomisi is actually one of the biggest problems in Dead by Daylight for Killer, is the fact that like survivors can just like spawn on gens and there's not much you can do about it because they just spawn immediately. And you just immediately start working on the gens. So the fact that you had that opportunity to spawn immediately on a gen and start working on it and chose not to is like, that's not great. Match time is gen time both ways, and you're spending a lot of time just like walking around and hanging out instead of just hopping on the gen that you saw immediately. Oh, I would have hopped on that gen. Match time is gen time raw. It's almost like that is the saying I say all the time, and now we turn it into merch. You can get your own match time is gen time design at Fourth Wall. Go for it. It's even coming as a sticker. What? Should we do our blood point bonus? Yeah, intentionally throw the. You want a match review? Want a match review, bud? Okay, they're on main building. No one's working on invoice as weakest. Yeah. Not in trouble. Not in trouble. Yeah. Also, I will say this once again. This is a takeaway I've given you before. That makes me upset. Splitting up on gens is always more efficient than tagging together as Survivor. Ideally, the situations in which you want to like tag a gen together is like the last two gens being close and you need to get them out so you can actually start, you know, doing the exit gates and leaving. That makes more sense to me, but realistically, you should be spraying out gens as much as possible. The fact that you're still not doing this makes me mad. It makes me mad because I've told you this before. You should be splitting up on gens in Survivor as much as you can. Right, Will? I don't care. Yeah, usually gens up in two-story buildings like that are hard for killers without a lot of mobility to get to in an efficient manner. That's why, like with like Dead Dog or Hawkins, you leave like the upstairs gens for last, because they are harder for killers to pressure. That was a dangerous choice to, I'm about to say, especially with the event. I would not be messing with the tier 3 Myers lunge, especially at such a not strong palette. Why'd you wait so long to vault? Always. Uh-oh. You're dead. Always keep momentum while looping a survivor. There is such thing as like check spots, but like that's if you lose track of the killer. You knew he was coming. You knew what he was gonna do. You probably shouldn't have. Why do you wait so much? Why do you wait so much? Why do you not just like start moving? Yeah, you just like it's. There's such thing as check spots and like waiting to not so you don't make a mistake. But you're like stopping a little too much. You need to keep your momentum up while you're looping. Ooh, very good fake. Very good fake with the emote tech. Good job. Yeah, you kind of, yeah, you stop a little too much. Yeah, you're right. The audio's out of sync like you were saying. Yeah, you stop a little bit too much in chase, which gives the killer distance on you, which is not the greatest. If you're gonna stop in a, like I was talking about check spots, stop in a place where you can see where the killer is coming from. Don't just stop randomly in the middle of the loop. Ideally, you should still be moving as much as possible to create distance between you and the killer. You get a gen down, which is good. You don't go second, which is nice. For attributes where you get instant tombstone, your wrist chase allowed. I mean, I would not outlaw them, but I think it would be common sense not to send me one. Because like, what am I gonna tell you? Don't get tombstone, idiot? Like, there's no advice I can give them. Hi, Andy. It's good to see you. Very nice treating you, well, friend. You're at the event launch? Yeah. Just don't die, forehead. There's not much I can say. Okay, he's kind of proxying about, which is scary. Realistically, you already have a hook state, so Yui or both Yuis. Yui or Yui. Yui 1, Yui 2 should be going for the same, not you, but like, he's being camped out, so better than nothing. Yeah, just DC every Myers. That's the only way you can avoid that. Our things are pretty alright. We're just doing match reviews. We have a whopping 10 now. 10 submissions. We're about halfway through. And help people get more consistent with the game. You should have let her. You should have let her regress the gen first before you're healing her. That way the gen doesn't regress more. With botany, this will still go extremely quickly, but yeah, should have done that reverse order. Would you do a match review for someone who has AK hours would like to take the game seriously? Man, who? What kind of qualifier is that? That sounds like somebody I know. Yes, I would. Yeah, I'm asking for a friend. Yeah, you can Sicily group up on gens. Like, that is not good. You guys would have been at like 1 gen by now if you didn't group up with people. Like, you would waste a lot of time in this match just grouping up on gens when you would have had another, like, you guys would have been at 1 gen, if not better, if you would just, you know, not, yeah, you know he's gonna vault that. He has the vault build. Match review in real time? You guys are asking me that once. You guys are asking me if I'd ever be open to, like, doing, like, coaching. And honestly, like, I'm already devoting every second I can of my life to the whole DVD content creation thing. I'm either working on the YouTube, streaming. Probably should have just thrown that to be safe. Working on YouTube, streaming, editing the guide. I'm always doing something, right? I'm already devoting as much time as I can to this, much less like a live thing. You know. Now I'm doing collabs too, so that's pretty fun. That's pretty neat. That reminds me. Check that. Oh no. Yeah, you guys, the main reason you guys are in such a bad spot is because you guys have just been grouping up on everything. You guys should have been spreading out on gens. She doesn't know that you. Just be aware that, like, you may get caught with barbecue here. Well, I would have perhaps waited. You said the audio was out of sync at the beginning, but it's kind of out of sync. Okay. Okay, because now she's dead. If you guys were at 1 gen, like if you guys were at 1 gen and you had this gen this far along, you guys could have potentially got like a 2 out. But because we're at 2 gens instead of 1 gen, because of gen inefficiency, like this doesn't matter. So fast heal, yeah, Bonnie's pretty good. Bonnie and Strength Shadows, very, very good combo. Okay, it's kind of hard for you guys to realistically come back from this at this point. Very hard for you guys to realistically come back from this. Okay, so you work on this gen a bit. Interrupts you. He's gonna vault that, you know that. What? Well, wow, that was a swing of all time. You definitely should have eaten dirt there. You definitely should not have made that. You should have gotten downed. Especially against a vault build character, you should not have attempted the window tech there. Window techs are not as consistent as they used to be, so that's already a risk. But doing it against a vault build character is just definitely a choice of all time. Please never do that again. I'm optimistic about if they actually choose to change it. It's still not confirmed that they're even reworking it. It's just like, oh my gosh, it's been. Well, you shouldn't be going for it anyway, Apple. You can't be like, oh, well, I just didn't execute it right. You probably shouldn't be doing that, period. Put on the roadmap to reworks, did they? I know they were like, I know they were putting a lot of like apps up for like, you know, review on their forums and stuff. Where did they put that? It's like on the general rework stuff, like where there's like the Myers and Freddy stuff. All right, so in terms of your main takeaways, the main one and the reason you guys lost this is because y'all were just like grouping up on gens. You guys like, it's almost like you had a buddy system. You guys didn't want to do gens alone at all. If you guys had split up, you guys would have been either had all the gens done or been at least to 1 gen, which would have helped you guys escape. This is rating me. Leos. Hi, friend. How are you, bud? How was your stream? Yeah, in terms of your main takeaways, Apple, please split up on gens. Please split up the gens. You actually would have had all gens done or down to 1 at the very, very least if you would actually split up on gens. While you're looping, make sure you're keeping your momentum. It's okay if you lose track of the killer to go back and stand at a check spot to see where they went, but you were kind of just like stopping randomly throughout your chases. If you had continued your momentum, you wouldn't have been caught nearly as quickly. Yeah, those are like the main 2 things I saw. There's some other minor stuff like going for a window tech on somebody with a vault build. Like, it's just kind of silly. Those are the 2 main things that I saw that if you had done better, you would have probably won the game or at least got a 2 out or something. So, yeah.